is gorgeous. And look at that. So today I'm going to give you 10 tips to catch more fish with your fly rod. Some of these you might have heard in the past, some of them maybe not. Some of them you might not just think of when you're having a tough day out on the water. But hopefully when you're having a tough day, you'll think about these and you'll find something to help you out. Hey, first and foremost, fish feed 90% of the time subsurface, under the surface. So unless you're seeing an active hatch and a lot of surface activity, you should be fishing below the surface of the water. Here's a good one to think about, guys. When you're having a rough day, I know what you do. Change flies, change flies, change flies, trying to find what they're hitting on. Well, let me tell you something. You'll catch more fish on the wrong fly at the right depth than you will the right fly at the wrong depth. Think about that. Chase depth. Figure out where the fish are sitting. Like today, they're sitting deep for me here. So I've got a super heavy fly on to get my target fly down to the fish. So don't be less concerned about the fly. Get something that's approximately right, but adjust your depth. Get it down to where the fish are hanging. You'll catch more fish than chasing flies. Okay guys, I'm going to show you my setup right here. Got a strike indicator. And I have a super heavy lead fly. This is just a olive woolly bugger. I've got a bead head on it and I've got lead underneath. This is not my go-to fly here. This is not the fly I'm trying to catch the fish on, because although I'll catch fish on it occasionally, this is not what they're looking for. They're looking for this little size 22 tiny emerger right there, size 22. Instead of using a piece of split shot, I'll use a heavy attractor fly like this. And what'll this do is this will replace my big old split shot to get the fly down, or to get my target fly down of this little emerger. In addition, I think sometimes a fish will see this big old attractor fly, like this woolly bugger or a San Juan worm or something, come over, take a look, see the fly that they're really interested in, and take that. Mend. I was mending repeatedly. You need that fly to dead drift, okay? And like this, we've got some cross currents. We don't want that fly to drag, and mending is what we can do to prevent that. I think the average fly fisherman mends a quarter as much as they really should. So mend. You want that fly to drift down, just dead drift. Bonus tip, guys. Don't drink a bunch of coffee before going fishing. You know what a pain in the butt it is. Take everything off if you've got to go pee. Just a little bonus tip to remember. Okay guys, here's one that I think people underdo as well. That is, hook sets are free. You see that strike indicator do anything funky? Set that hook. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt anything. Yeah, might screw up your drift a little. Big deal. How many times you've picked up to cast and you didn't even know you had a fish on there? Any little movement of that strike indicator that's unnatural, set that hook. Hook sets are free. Just like that. So as you can see, I've got some riffles right here. Coming down right over here is big pool. One of the things is I prefer to fish the real riffles like this, where you got some movement. What that does versus a nice calm area, especially when the water's clear, is the riffles, the movement will disguise your line. It makes your tippet material harder to see for the fish. So even though the fish will be cruising throughout all of this, I'll catch much more fish up here in the riffles because it's harder for the fish to see my tippet material. Okay guys, here's another one I see way too much of, is people out there waiting where they should be fishing. You don't need to get into the deep water. Look at me. I'm in 3 inches of water here to fish this hole. A lot of people be standing right there. Hell guys, there's likely fish right there. So don't wade or stand where you should be fishing. This is an old suitcase. If you keep your waders in an old suitcase, makes them easy to grab and go and protects them for when you're storing them in your garage or your fish room or your shed or whatever. So old suitcase, store your waders in there. Okay guys, here's another good one for you. When you've got a nice little pocket right back over here, sorry this wind is nasty, I can short line it and keep as much line off of, missed one there, keep as much fly line off the water as possible. This will help eliminate drag whatsoever and give you the perfect drift. So keep as much fly line off the water as possible, because that fly line is what gets looped down below, and that's what causes drag and gives you that unnatural drift. So fish that pocket water and just try and keep the mono, your leader, in the water. It'll help you with hookups and get you a good clean drift, guys. So one of my favorite things that I didn't learn about until about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago, tippet rings. Absolutely love them. I use a tapered leader, and what I'll do is I'll buy like a 9-foot tapered leader. I'll cut it back to about 6-pound test or so, and then I'll attach a tippet ring, and I can't really show you that on the water very well, but I'll insert this picture here, and then I'll put my tippet material, my 6X whatever, tied from my tippet ring down to my flies. I'll replace, throughout a season or throughout a day, I'll replace my tippet material quite a few times, but I don't have to replace my tapered leader. I do it about once a year. I'll replace my tapered leader, and I don't have to do any fancy knots, any line-to-line knots in order to do that, because of that tippet ring. And that tippet ring just looks like, essentially it looks like an eye of a hook. Absolutely love it. Much more convenient. You'll like it too. Well guys, we're gonna hike on out of here. I hope these tips and tricks help you out, help you catch more fish. But if you can, do me a tip. Give me a thumbs up on this. It helps me out. Doesn't cost you a darn thing. It helps my videos get viewed. So I'd appreciate it. Hope to see you next time, and hope these tips help you out in the future. Later, guys.